This brain is smaller than a sesame seed, with exactly 100,000 neurons. The fruit fly buzzing against your window has the exact same amount. But while the fly repeatedly smashes its head into the glass, this creature plans ambushes, navigates complex detours, and hunts its own kind. If you were shrunk down, this tiny predator would easily outsmart you. You are about to discover why the ultimate proof of high intelligence is hiding on the tip of your finger, and how its terrifying mental capacity will permanently shatter everything you know about biology. This is what 100,000 neurons can actually do. 8 eyes. 4 pairs, each pair with a different job. The 2 large ones in front see in color, track moving targets, and resolve details sharp enough to rival a house cat. The side eyes scan 350 degrees for motion. Together, they form a surveillance system inside a head smaller than a matchtip. But the lateral eyes do something no camera on Earth has replicated. They detect biological motion, not just movement, the specific pattern that only living things produce. In 2024, Diagro, Rossler, and Shamble confirmed it. The detection happens in a dedicated brain region, a region fundamentally different from anything in a vertebrate. With 100,000 neurons, a jumping spider runs a life detection system. Those eyes are not just watching, they are sorting the living from the dead. Seeing is useful. Planning a murder is harder. Portia does not eat insects. It eats other spiders, predators with fangs, venom, and webs designed to trap exactly the kind of creature Portia is. So it plans. In 1997, researchers placed Portia on a high platform. The prey was visible from the top, but the only path down required losing sight of the target entirely, walking blind. Sometimes walking away from the food first. 251 spiders chose correctly. On the first attempt, 15 did not. With 100,000 neurons, a jumping spider builds a map, memorizes it, and follows it in the dark. Most autonomous robots still fail this test. Which surprises you more so far? A spider that detects life, or a spider that plans blind routes? Drop your answer below. Oh, and it can count too. Cross and Jackson tested whether Portia distinguishes quantity. 1 prey versus 2, 2 versus 4? It does. Without training, without repetition. It simply adjusts its approach based on how many targets are present. The limit is 3. Beyond that, numbers blur into several. With 100,000 neurons, a jumping spider holds inventory, not instinct. Arithmetic. Numbers are abstract. Faces are personal. Individual recognition was supposed to belong to social mammals. Primates that groom each other. Elephants that mourn. Dolphins that call names. Not a solitary arthropod that rarely meets the same neighbor twice. But in 2025, Dahl and Cheng tested regal jumping spiders. The setup was meticulous. 2 spiders were placed in an arena separated only by a clear pane of glass. There were no chemical cues, no pheromones, no vibrations transferred through the floor. They were isolated to pure vision. The researchers let the spiders stare at each other. The first encounter was intense. They locked eyes. They waved their pedipalps, carefully evaluating whether the creature on the other side was a rival, a mate, or a meal. But after several forced meetings with the exact same partner, the reaction flatlined. The spiders simply stopped caring. They had recognized the individual, categorized them, and deemed them irrelevant. Then, the researchers changed the variables. They quietly swapped the familiar spider out, replacing it with a complete stranger of the exact same size, color, and species. Immediately, the original spider snapped back to high alert. The intense tracking resumed, the strongest response of the entire study. That ruled out physical fatigue. The spider was not tired of looking. It was tired of looking at that specific face. With 100,000 neurons, a jumping spider keeps a portrait gallery. A brain that small has no business remembering a face. It remembers anyway. If you are still watching, you already sense where this is heading. And the next part is the one researchers themselves struggled to believe. REM sleep is supposed to require a backbone. Mammals have it. Birds have it. A handful of reptiles might. That was the boundary. In 2022, Daniela Rossler and Paul Shamble filmed baby jumping spiders through infrared lenses. The spiders were asleep, dangling from silk threads in total darkness. The retinas were moving rapidly, in cycles. Every 20 minutes, for about 77 seconds, the spiderlings entered a state with every hallmark of REM. rapid eye movement, leg twitching, spinnerets firing, and a hydraulic version of muscle relaxation where the legs simply curled inward because the fluid pressure dropped. With 100,000 neurons, a jumping spider may dream. Shamble described it simply. They are probably dreaming about their own lives, some strange visual version of their own experience. Rosler added one detail. Sometimes a sleeping spider would suddenly fling all 8 legs outward at once. She had only one word for it: nightmare. And if they dream differently, perhaps they are different. Keepers describe distinct temperaments. Some climb a hand within seconds, others watch for minutes before retreating. Some groom on an open palm, others never leave their enclosure. With 100,000 neurons, a jumping spider develops preference, not a program running the same way twice. A personality. And this is where the math stops making sense. 100,000 neurons, a surveillance grid, a route planner, a counter, a portrait gallery, a dreamer, a personality. We spent centuries measuring intelligence by volume. Bigger brain, smarter animal. That equation held until someone pointed a camera at something this small. A poppy seed brain. 8 eyes that separate the living from the still. Routes planned without sight, faces stored for hours, sleep cycles that look to every instrument available like dreaming. The question science keeps circling is not whether this counts as intelligence, it is why we assumed it could not. The next time a jumping spider lands on a wall and turns those 2 oversized eyes toward your face, hold still. It is not startled, it is reading you. If you are the kind of person who stays until the end of a video like this, you belong here. Subscribe to Explain channel and leave a comment. What is the smallest creature you would call intelligent?